Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fast Charging with BnB. I am Bear, and
And
this
I
is
am.
one on Brian. I had to say it. I had to. I
Howdy, y'all.
couldn't let you do your intro. Not with the
No,
eye patch. You want to quickly
not with the
tell
iPad.
everybody?
So I have a dog, a big dog. I have 4 dogs, but one of them is big, and she's very excited to see me sometimes. And she scratched my eye, so that's cool. That's super cool.
Is your eye coming
Hurts.
back?
It is. It was not punctured. It was just badly scratched, and so it should be good in a couple days. Just in time for me to do my big trip to Nevada, where who knows, I may even get to see the new Tesla Semi delivery event.
Well, half see it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, you could probably get in there with some sort of like disability thing and say, I had my pass, but I lost it because I can't see where it went. Something like that.
Do
You
you
could come up
want
with
me
something.
to show you? Because you don't. I open it. It's just a little red. But
Oh, okay.
and by then it'll probably be fine, but it hurts like hell.
That's really too bad, and I would definitely put the dog down because I can't think of any other way to feel better about that if that was me.
Yeah, that makes sense. So also I wanted to point out I'm trying something different this weekend to hopefully fix the audio a bit. I have headphones now, so no echo. We'll see how it goes. You guys can tell us.
I thought that was an ear patch in your ear.
Yeah, because if you're going to go pirate, you got to go all the way. I didn't have time to do the wooden limbs, but maybe next week.
Are you sure? Let me see both your hands. Oh, no hooks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That would suck having a hook and having to put one of those things in your ear. Just
Yeah.
saying. But hey, let's get started. You're just like all over the place, and I
Do you
know
know,
it's for me.
Chevy reveals, oh, by the way, this is not live this week. This is pre-taped because, I got to go to the semi-event. Chevy reveals sleek electric sports sedan, but not in the U.S.
Yeah, that looks pretty sleek, but thank
Remind you,
goodness they're not bringing it here.
remind you of anything?
I think you
It looks
said it
like
looks like a BYD.
it looks like a BYD to me, but
Yeah.
fine, fine. It looks. I'll tell you, it's a render, but I think this is a render that you could actually see. It doesn't look like an improbable one, and it looks better than a lot of GM's offerings.
Yeah, well, the lines are very smooth, so that's one reason we know it's a render. The front end kind of has a little bit of a lyric slash Lexus look.
And the hood reminds me of Camaro.
Yeah, I could see that. And the side view kind of looks Polestar-ish a little bit with the. I can see it because I can see that. I see the Pulstar every day with the like the kind of the wide hips and the with the rear doors coming out like that. I can kind of see that, but
Absolutely,
maybe
I can
that's
see
just
that as
me
well.
wanting to see something. That, oh, I scrolled down too far and I ran into
Oh
the
God,
sell the steep.
I just did too. I mentioned this to Bear in the pre-show chat, but I got a box from Amazon this week, and the entire box was an ad for General Motors EVs. We're gonna have so many of them, you won't know what to do with it. The box actually, I think, said that they do have, which is not true. But what a great way to just throw money in the fire.
Oh, absolutely. And but they are convinced that they are going to be the world's biggest EV maker in a matter of days, I think it is.
Seconds, who knows?
Maybe it just happened.
Well, maybe Mary is the real leader, and we need to be a little more humble and modest and recognize her greatness.
Yes. Well, I'm willing to bow down. I'm going to take the knee.
I don't know if I would go quite that far.
Oh, okay. Did I go too far? I didn't even realize it.
Ah. Any other EV news specifically from the desert?
Yeah, we do have some more news from the desert. Horrible segue. We had nothing on that one, did we? Executive shares insights on the Air Pure and its sub $90,000 price. Now, this has been all over the place about the Air Pure being introduced under $90,000, which was really a little strange to me because when I made my reservation, it was at $77,000. Now, they did have a price increase, and the one I've got, which my order was confirmed late last week, I think. or sometime last week, my order is confirmed. So they're saying quarter 1 for these Pures are going to start coming out. And mine did come in under 90,000. Plus, I was able to add some options to it.
Huh.
Uh,
So they honored the reservation price.
yes, they did. So
Wow.
pretty excited about that. But it's going to be a nice car. Apparently, there's not that much missing from like a GT to a Pure. You're losing the roof. You lose some of the materials on the inside. You lose the hyped up motors in the larger battery pack, but you're still getting a decent car that's going to have I know it's sub 5 second 0 to 60. You're over 400 miles of range. So for that $90,000, you're still in a decent car.
Yeah, and I love the panoramic glass, but if it's 5 grand more, 10 grand more, I could live without it. And like you said, over 400 miles of range, and it's still damn quick.
Yeah, that panoramic glass is going to be a $6,000 option on the Pure when it becomes available for the Pure, but right now it's not. Um, but I'm excited for this car. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I think it's going to be pretty decent. They also added a Fathom Blue, which when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I looked at a video on it, and it looks gray in most lights. So then I skirted away from it because I was not interested in a car that looks like it's gray in certain light and blue in other light. And the red, the garnet red that we have chosen, I think really stands out on this car.
Well, the
But
nice thing is they have a variety of colors, so. And they're all
well,
pretty good to someone.
yeah, they don't have that much of a variety, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
really?
No, they've got white, silver, gray, black, and red. I wonder
Those
if I
are. Do they also have blue? No, that's reserved for the Sapphire.
Well, no, they have a blue now for the Pure, but it's not even a baby blue. Um, it's just it's kind of a it's I don't know how to describe it. It is a light blue. It's not the sapphire. It's definitely not a deep blue. It's maybe a baby blue, but like I said, it looks like a gray in different lights, and it's almost like the Mercedes colors except for the blue. White, red, silver, gray, and black. And that's pretty much it.
Well, those are most cars, though.
They are most cars, but there are a lot of car companies that do really well with putting more exotic colors on it. And
Yeah.
I'll show you one later in this video.
All right, all right. And we've got some more Lucid news. Lucid could be working on a $50,000 electric sedan in a few years.
Yeah, and I'd be pretty excited for it. Originally, they said something about a $25,000 car because they were trying to match what Elon Musk said several years ago. But obviously, inflation has caused that price to double. I don't know where they're getting the $50,000 from in this article, but it's they're basing there might be a third model out of a picture that was put out that had the gravity undercovers and an air undercovers, and then a car in the middle that looks different in size. So they're like, okay, maybe that's it. Oh, and that's from one of my followers, Let's Go Lucid.
Nice.
Had put that out there, and he made the big time on Inside EVs.
I love it because Let's Go Lucid was not doing clickbait. Let's Go Lucid was very honest. We know the gravity will be shown, but the middle car looks smaller. Will it be a surprise? Inside EVs, yes, it will, and we know the price.
And here's an article.
And here's a whole article, which we have now clicked on.
Yes, and
So
now
far.
we've shared it with the tens of people watching.
Tens. I wonder if I'm going to be in the chat. I bet I will, because I'll probably be at the airport waiting for my flight.
Well,
Yeah.
it won't be live chat, so you'll just be in the comments.
Well, mine will be a premiere, so I will have live chat on mine. Haha.
Look at you.
Look at me go. We'll
All
see.
right. So what's that guy's name? The Electric Viking?
Yes.
Yeah. So he put out a video today, showing off his clickbait skills about how Lucid sales have collapsed because they now actually have inventory to sell.
And
Which,
as we know, if you have something in stock, that means no one wants it.
you mean like Model 3?
Model 3s, apparently there are Model 3s in stock. Like the F-150, I saw one of those in stock. Must be the end for trucks.
Yeah, sales are collapsing. I saw toilet paper and milk at Walmart.
What? I was assured that those, yeah, that's crazy. I guess people are no longer interested in either of those products. It's a shame.
I guess not. If you
But
have something in inventory, it must mean that your sales are collapsing.
But I will say, oh, and also for that matter, plaids are absolutely in stock. If you want a plaid, you can get one. And I would put that in the same category as this. Now, you know that EV sales are probably going to be a little weak this month because everyone knows new incentives come out in a month.
Yes, in January, new government incentives.
Big ones.
Yes.
Big ones. So it would not surprise me. And what I hope Lucid does, what I hope Tesla does, what I hope GM and Ford and all of them do, is just keep building them, stockpile, let your Q4 look a little weak so you can hit Q1 with a big bang.
Now, something that's notable on this, besides the fact there are 12 Air Grand Tourings here, is that there is mention that if you buy this car and get it delivered before December 31st, that you will probably qualify for the $7,500 tax incentive because you're taking delivery before the end of the year.
Oh, right, because Lucid still has their original 7,500.
Yes.
Before Chevy and Tesla get back into the game with incentives, since they were the only two who had actually used up the first incentives.
Exactly. So this $154,000 car is discounted.
Huge discount. It's like 5% off.
Is it even that much? I think it might be just
It's
that.
almost. Yeah, you're going in saving money. Come on, people.
Yeah, definitely a deal. Definitely. 569 miles of range on these cars. I mean, in these cars, I have driven one. They are nice cars.
469 and 516 is what I'm seeing.
Oh, you see a 516 on here?
Oh, yes. It is the Grand Touring.
Where?
Hit refresh. I loaded this page later than you. They must have made it. They must have made it's gray. Air Grand Touring.
No, I see him at the bottom. And
EPA range up to 516. Do you not see that?
I don't know how
I
that's
have
right.
one eye and I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know how that's right because it was maybe it's because of the wheels to get 516.
Yeah, it says 19-inch aero instead of the.
See, I wasn't aware that the 19-inch aero wheels got better range than that much better range than the 21-inch aerial blades. But by the way, you can't really get a good look at those wheels. They suck. They're not good looking wheels. Not for that car. But I mean, the 21-inch aerial blade are nice, real nice wheels. But yeah. Was there a 0 to 60 difference? No, they're both 3 seconds. But hey, that is a substantial difference in range.
I told Bear in person that off channel, that I had a chance to go to the Lucid dealership in Beverly Hills and check out the vehicles there, and they had a Sapphire, and it's fine. She's like, it's carbon, it's all carbon. It's like, it's carbon trim.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the pieces are trim pieces. It's not like they replace the hood or the trunk. Those are the things that you think would easily replace with carbon fiber and with a lot of weight savings.
I saw a $3 million car at the Peterson Museum that was all carbon. The wheels, the frame, everything was carbon.
Yeah, did you scratch it up? Did you lean on it?
I looked at it, and it is now scratched. Yeah. So that is how that works.
Because your scratched eyeball can scratch things now? That's your superpower?
That's my superpower. Even in the past, it can go back and retroactively scratch things.
Wow, that is cool. I'm going to look into that. Mm-hmm. So what other cars are changing?
Well, maybe we're on the wrong page here, but an updated Tesla Model 3 is coming and will be even more Spartan, according to a report that I have not seen validated. I've seen rumors about this, But,
Does
well, the report comes via Reuters. Yeah, they've gotten a bit clickbaity.
yeah, does Spartan mean sparse?
Yes.
I thought Spartan meant like grab your shields and
Kick them off
you
the
know,
edge.
yeah, pretty much. That's what I thought that meant. Uh, I did read this article, and I got to agree with what a lot of the people in the comments said, and so did the author of this article, and go, what are you going to do to make this any simpler? And I really don't want to see anything removed. Maybe that wood grain dash could not be wood grain and maybe be something more attractive.
Right.
Uh,
I have an answer.
what's that?
The Model 3 does not yet use mega castings or a structural battery pack. Replacing those would make the car substantially cheaper to build, and you could drop the price, increase the margin, whatever you want to do, both.
But that doesn't talk about the interior stuff.
No. And that's why I think this article is, this rumor is unfounded, is my guess.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are going to be unfounded. Now, you could go with a yoke steering wheel and then eliminate the turn signal and the shifter handles.
Yep.
So that's something. I'm not sure that they would actually do that on this car. I don't know if a yoke steering wheel would actually be cheaper.
They could get rid of the mirrors if they're being shipped to Europe and replace them with digital screens to get you another 5% range.
Yeah, you can increase the range. You will not decrease the price, though. I don't believe.
No, and you will not make it simpler or more Spartan. But yeah, I thought the Model 3 was going to, or the Model S was going to be a substantial facelift, and it was not.
It was not substantial at all.
No. It was, in my opinion, deeply disappointing, and I think that's why the sales have been modest.
Well, I bought one.
Yeah.
But I'm a modest guy.
Right. But you're also kind of a hoarder.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm an EV hoarder.
Ask me for anything, and I bet it's on my desk.
Yeah. Paperclip?
I can get one of those. That's in my drawer right here. That's easy.
This is a compelling podcast.
Need some, look, it's Carmex. You need some of that. I can do that. I could do old readers.
Nice.
You want an Amazon gift card? I could do that.
Yes, please. Speaking of Tesla chargers, which we weren't. So last year, Aptera started a petition saying, can we just make the Tesla charger connection the North American standard? To which Tesla said, that's what we already call it, with a bit of hubris. But they went ahead and opened the platform, I guess, the standard for others to use, and Aptera has immediately said, good, because that's what's already on our prototype. Yeah. It's the best connector out there. It's small, it's fast. Yeah. So that's good news.
That is it's the North American charging standard, which is not too complicated. I think it flows better than CCS. What does that stand for?
Combined connectors, combined cycle. It stands for a thing.
Yeah, I can only come up with X-rated things, so I'm not even going to answer. But I think it's a good deal. I mean, I know Aptera is not exactly the one that's going to make everyone go, oh yeah, Aptera's doing it now. We should too. I think it'd be really in Tesla's interest to go talk to somebody at one of the major car manufacturers and say, hey, come on, join on.
Especially since the Tesla network is going to start opening up to other cars, as it has in other countries. And I scroll down here and I'm looking at the size difference between the Tesla connector and the CCS2, and what a difference. That thing is so clunky.
I will vouch for that. Not only that, the cables at Electrify America, I don't think my mom would be able to manhandle that cable. You know, she's 81. And I don't think she'd be able to get that cable. It is so heavy. It is, the gauge on that is probably about, you see my hand? It's probably about that big. And you know that the gauge on the Tesla one, it's very, very thin, and it actually has a faster capacity. uh, for the level 2 chargers, the
even
capacity
without
is faster.
even without the liquid cooling.
Yeah.
And what I've read is that the Tesla is a one-hand use connector, and the other one is not. It is a
Um,
two-hand. It is a two-hand job.
yeah, it is. You definitely have to have two hands, one to move the cable and hold it while you're trying to aim the connector in because it's got so much weight to it. It always is pulling down on it. Um,
And the Tesla one is so dainty you can thumb it in.
yeah, and this doesn't even. If you're looking at the picture of the cables,
Yes.
the one on the left shows just the Tesla cable and just the CCS. That's only for like the home charger, for the one in gray, the CCS. The one on the right that has those two things on the bottom. When you go to EA, you have to take out a little plastic cover out because it actually has two connections that have to the two different connections that are plugged in at the same time. It's actually larger for the faster chargers, so there are more pieces to it, and that is the same way on all of the CCS cars that I have. Is that for using EA, you have to have this. It's this fat. It's huge, and all of that has to go in there, as opposed to the Tesla charger. Okay, here's the best way to describe the Tesla charger versus CCS. When you're in a low light area, you can feel with your hand, your left hand, and find your charging port in the Tesla, and you could push it in because the edges are also rounded in, so it kind of will just slip into place. With the CCS chargers, you've got to have a light on it, and you need to actually aim it and line it up and plug it in. And then when the car doesn't start charging, you have to pull it out and then do it the second time. Because 50% of the time I've got to put it in twice on
Wow.
all the cars.
Wow. That's terrible. It's almost like these companies were trying to not succeed.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet money on the fact that the CCS will never go away because
I
it's the worst option.
I was going to say because it's already in too many vehicles, but god damn it.
It's still in less vehicles
Oh yeah.
than the NACS.
Nax.
Nax.
Ah.
I like it. Nax.
Speaking of a bad segue, who's next? Chinese
Hey,
EVs drive Stellantis' Jeep
nice.
off the road.
That's a kind of a great headline, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I know we've had some mixed discussions about plug-in hybrids. And we both have reservations about them, but the truth is you can't go all electric today. There aren't enough batteries. And I believe that if Jeep is going to start going with hybrids today, which they are, that at least develops some competency with electric drivetrains. Thoughts?
Well, I would agree with that, and I know that the Wrangler has had a plug-in hybrid model for a while. Chrysler, also part of Stellantis, they offer the only plug-in hybrid minivan out there in the Pacifica, which was surprising to me. I didn't even know that until a couple of weeks ago. But their hybrid minivan only comes in plug-in version. So you cannot just get a straight-up hybrid. You can only get a plug-in hybrid version.
And that's,
So
yeah. And now that you've had a little bit of experience with it, does it really start electric and stay electric?
yeah, it does. Unless you floor it, you can hear the motor come on and give you a little bit of a boost. But it will run mostly off that battery for the 37 miles that it will tell you. And it tells you straight up when you get in there, you're fully charged. It goes, you got 37 miles. Have fun. And you run through that, and then it will start kicking back and forth. And I like the fact that on the dash, it tells you how many miles you've driven off the battery and how many miles you've driven off of fuel. So as you're driving, you can always reset your trip meter, but it's just part of the trip meter. It tells you exactly how well you're doing or how well the vehicle is doing as far as not burning gas. And from a full tank of gas, it gives you a range of well over 500 miles, and you can probably even do better than that. I haven't run a full tank of gas in the thing, but I was actually surprised. I liked that kind of stat to show me how well I'm doing.
Now, do you think the Jeep would be any good in a hybrid version?
Around here it would be, because everybody just drives a Jeep just because they drive a Jeep.
Right.
Most of them don't take it off road, but people like getting Jeeps.
So I just hit play on my link. This is a drive I got to do as a passenger in this vehicle at the auto show, and it is ridiculously capable. The video, it doesn't really give you a great impression of how steep and precarious all this stuff is, but it was one heck of a test drive, and it is very capable and dead silent. And in this particular case, you could only have so many internal combustion engines running inside a convention center. So all the Jeeps here were running in pure electric mode, and when the battery got down enough, they would just park it and grab the next one.
Okay. And something to note about this little test drive of yours is not the spot where I'm looking at, but after this, there is a grade that you guys go up to, that go up is 40 degrees, which is an insane amount of incline. I think the legal limit for federal highways in the United States is like 7%. It's
Right.
6 or 7%. And
Right.
they don't make freeways with any more of a grade than that. And the one you went up was 40%.
Yeah,
And
it was.
went up with that without a problem.
Now, in fairness, it is steel grating, which has exceptional traction, and he did get a bit of a running start, but having the battery provide weight nice and low helps. It was shockingly impressive. And then going down the other side, he didn't roll down, he just gradually inched down, and it was, and think of the regen you're getting there.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
he uses hill assist on that.
Yeah, so that's right. You didn't have to even deal with it.
See, I watch your videos.
Yeah, I should give myself a thumbs up is what I should do.
Yeah.
Let
Oh,
me do
what?
that.
I haven't given you a thumbs up either. There you go.
Nice. All right. But in fairness, I'm not a big fan of my videos. I find them crass and tasteless.
Well, yeah. Well, sometimes you're right.
Sometimes I am.
Yeah.
But it's and in the comments I got a lot of people saying, well, hybrids are not going to get us there. Maybe not today, but eventually.
Yeah.
And again, there just aren't enough batteries for everyone to go all electric today. And the competency isn't there yet, and this will help develop it. Boy, that is a real steep.
Yeah,
real steep.
I just got to that point also.
Yeah.
We are synced up, like we're having our periods at the same time synced up.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, isn't it?
So, Polestar,
Yeah.
they've made 100,000 now.
They have made 100,000, and apparently they're all in white in this picture.
Well, they got the inspiration from the leader.
GM with their Hummer.
Yeah, Mary is the leader, and you can get a Hummer in any color you want as long as it's white.
It's white. Thank you, Henry Ford.
Yeah, he said you could get an ultimate race in any color. So let's see here. As long as it's white. The Polestar's doing pretty good. And it looks like they're starting to get profitable, which is, of course, critical if you're going to try and scale. So that's exciting.
Yes. And you see the little sticker that they have? If you scroll down, it says Pulstar 2 battery. They have those stickers on the side of every car that says Pulstar 2, and then it has your battery size. It says like 77 kilowatts of battery, and it's a sticker. And that's the only place on the outside of the car where it actually says Pulstar.
Huh.
Stupid facts.
Well, I think
I
that's
felt
a
like it was
terrible
supposed to
idea.
have been peeled off or something.
I think that's a terrible idea. I think they should put
It's
their name
horrible.
on it.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody
interesting.
knows what it is.
I saw a great one last week. It said that since Kia redesigned their logo to be this too modern, too fancy thing, Google searches for KN have skyrocketed because it doesn't look like KIA. It looks like KN.
Yeah, it does look like KN, and it took me about 3 months to figure out that I was looking at a Kia. I thought it was like for a K&N filter at first. Someone was advertising their filter, and I just kept looking at it, and I could not see the KIA, and I had to go look it up. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Focus group this stuff, guys. Come on.
yeah,
Focus group it outside of Korea, where I assume they did, and it went off great. But these are not letters in their alphabet, so
yeah, uh, yeah. It totally escaped me until I had to look it up. I'm embarrassed that I can't read.
well, I'd say you can read, just not good.
Not good. Yeah, pictures help.
Do you know that the VW ID3 consumes 28% more in winter than in summer?
You know what? I don't necessarily believe that because I don't know if they tested like an ID3 in Arizona versus wherever, because I'm very sure that my cars are using more electricity in the summertime than they will in the wintertime.
Summers are a
So
bit more extreme in Arizona than perhaps in Germany.
yeah, is in assuming that's where the test is, okay, but how does that compare to other cars? That could be a good thing. Maybe there's an article that comes out next week that says Teslas use 30% more in winter than summer.
But
What?
they test them in the Arctic tundra.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the bar for this? You put out an article like this with no comparison.
Well, and insufficient data to understand how you drew your conclusions. I'm not seeing what the temperatures were, or yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, for all we know, this could be a great thing.
yeah, and the ID3 is a really a second generation car. Cut it. I'd say cut it some slack. Would be my thought.
I'm not giving it a hard time, even though
Right?
they
No, no,
can't
no.
can't seem to sell them.
The author is.
Yeah,
Well, or the study is, but we don't know. Maybe this is true. Maybe this is true.
yeah. But when you're going to have to charge that more often, where are you going to go?
To the Mary Barra of charging stations, the true leader,
Oh,
electrify some parts of America some of the time. I think that's what their name is.
I think it's 50% of the time it works every time.
I don't think it's even that. So this
Yeah.
is a new charger station that opened up on the Interstate 5 route, which is the big highway that runs north and south along the west coast. And this station, great, 10 stalls. And as we can see, one of them is operational, which is about right for Electrify America. I mean, I get it. I appreciate that you're doing something. Now is the
Yeah,
time to make big moves, and this is not a big move.
I will tell you something about this. If you look at like the second picture,
Oh.
at least on this one, there's only one cable coming out of it. The EA stations that I've used, there's two cables coming out of the front. And I don't know if that's because maybe one isn't working half the time, so they have a backup cable. And they're not set up at the end of the stall. They're set up in the middle of the stall, so they'll be by your door, which makes it hard to get out, of course,
And
and
easy to ding up.
easy to ding up. But you got to remember, if it's facing you on one side, it's not facing the car on the other side. So the screens are all on one side, and the back end is on the other side. So if you're on the other side and you have to plug in one of those stations, you can't see your screen while you're sitting there, and you have to pull that cable around the other side and then sit in your car. So at least they've improved the design a little bit. The interface that they have on here looks to be the same for the most part, except I don't see the screen that says charging failed anywhere on here. So they must.
Not very realistic then, is it?
Yeah, it's not. These might be renders because it doesn't say charging failed.
I would also like to point out what a wasted opportunity to differentiate yourself by offering pull-through charging for your Lightnings with trailers.
That would have been a great idea, but they probably didn't have enough room. Or they
Correct.
could only lease one side of that parking lot.
Yeah.
But that would have been a good move to do. But again, missed it. Well, speaking of misses, Electrify America also had an ad out. Do you want to play any of these?
Yeah, sure. Let's do the first one.
Let's do the first one.
Your pops was like a brother to me, but just because you say you got the range I need doesn't mean you can... Trunk in the front. Welcome home, son.
Electric vehicles are worth watching.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
So all three videos talk about like the cars and how they're able to charge and things like that, but they don't talk about their charging stations. And I'm sure there's a reason for that, because they didn't
What?
have
What?
anything good to say.
Oh,
So-
my God.
Yeah,
That's
so
magical.
one commercial props up the F-150, one commercial.
Do you want to? I mean, they're
props up
15
a
seconds.
Genesis.
Let's do the
Yeah,
next one. I'm in.
Okay. Genesis, let's
You're
go.
sporty,
Second one.
quiet. You can DC fast charge at thousands of chargers nationwide. Or overnight in my garage. I love that about you.
Electric vehicles are worth watching.
What does that have to do with anything?
Not with charging. So, third one.
That's- Third one. Here we go.
Lord Chargington's come to visit. I've heard he moves quite quickly with instant torque and punchy acceleration.
And yet he requires less routine maintenance than most other gentlemen.
Electric vehicles are worth watching.
See, I love these ads. They're great ads, but they're not for Electrify America.
No, they're not. And BMW could use a commercial like that to promote their big ass grill.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're-
it is a big ass grill.
Yeah. So I would love to see like a Tesla commercial talking about their superchargers, and then have someone at an EA charger just like beating the living mother crap out of it, just slamming. Why won't this work? And then the Tesla guy goes, "Why don't you get one of these?"
It could just be a guy just sighing, holding his charger. Oh.
I can't charge these cars. I hate electric cars. Well, maybe you bought the wrong car. Right, our chargers.
Well, and then a guy rolls up in a Hyundai and charges at the supercharger,
Yep.
because that's coming too. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah.
Tesla
yeah.
obviously doesn't need the commercials for it.
No. And there are people who are saying, oh, maybe Elon just bought Twitter as an ad for Tesla. And it's like, well, those are different investors with different priorities, and the money would have to. And $44 billion, you could buy a lot of ads. You could
You
buy
could buy a lot of ads.
you
I've
could
got
buy
some
more
ads placed
than-
for sale.
Yeah, you could buy more than all the big guys combined for probably 5-10 years. But
Yeah.
all right.
But speaking of chargers,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Loblaw is building out their EV charging network at its stores across Canada, and they've got a new take on charging stations, where you can choose your rate by choosing your speed, which is kind of interesting, because you can go all the way down to 14 cents a minute for a 40 kilowatt charger, or
12
even
cents?
higher.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
you know what? For example, if I had a Bolt, I would take the 40 kilowatt, because I can't do 75. Certainly
Yeah.
can't do 150. So why should you have to pay for, the 32 cents a minute? So
Yeah.
that's fair, and it's reasonable, especially if you think you're going to be there longer, and I'm going to be here 2 hours. I need a little bit of charge, or I'll take a little bit of charge. So I'll go with the 12 cents a minute. And
Yeah.
you're really paying for what you get, as opposed to just plugging it in, and where you can get ridiculous speeds, but you don't need that, and now you're paying extra for it.
And this is also ideal for people who live in places where you cannot install your own charger at home. Well, I can't take time to go to a charger every week, even though I can take time to go to a gas station. Do you go shopping? Go shopping once a week. You'll be there, a little while. Get what juice you can.
Yeah. Now the question is, are these owned by Electrify America? Because that would be a problem.
They do not appear to be. They appear the wrong color to be Electrify America.
Ooh, that sounds a little racist.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I got something to throw in about, most cars come with free charging.
Okay.
Teslas don't. Those Lucid Airs come with 2 years of free charging.
Right.
The Pulstar and the Hyundai Ioniq 5, they'll come with, I think, 2 or 3 years of free charging through Electrify America, which kind of defeats the purpose. Because free when it don't work don't mean squat. Guess how much charging the Mach E comes with?
Oh, 3 years? 500 miles? What?
250 kilowatts.
Oh, boy. That's a $25 gas card, my friend.
Yeah, it pretty much is. So that was a little disappointing when I discovered that. Kind of a letdown.
Yeah, that would be. That's, And that's assuming you can actually get it, because a lot of times you can't.
That's true. I have had my free pass for my Hyundai fail at Electrify America where it says payment declined. And then I would switch to my Polestar and fill up my Hyundai and it would take it. And vice versa. So It's kind of random when you're not going to have to pay.
Magical.
It is it could be magic.
Yeah.
Speaking of magic, GM plans on making a magic $50 billion in EV revenue by 2025. Somebody needs to remind them that 2025 is really, really close.
Yeah. And also, they aim to be profitable on EVs by 2025, meaning they are still losing money on every car they sell.
Yes. And by the way, take a look at that grill. Does that not look like the first article's grill?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you've still got it.
Yeah, sure does. Sure does.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very, very similar.
Well, it's terrible. It's a beautiful sticker. I think more cars should have bigger stickers.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that car we're looking at on that Chevrolet thing is this car, but the Chinese version.
It's quite different.
Yeah, but it could be all the same underneath.
That's the whole idea of the Ultium platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
it's
$50 billion in revenue. Do you know how much revenue they had last year?
No.
About 170 billion. So there was, or was it 120? No, I think it was 120. Either way, I think it's around 50 billion is like a third of something like that I may have come up with. Or maybe I forgot the number. But that's a significant amount of their sales is going to be coming from EVs.
So a prohibitively large percentage for 2.5 years from now.
Yes.
That's 30 months. In 30 months, you're going to ramp from a couple thousand to 500,000. Oh,
no,
here we go.
More than
they
that.
plan to.
Right on the bottom.
400,000 through the first half of 2024, and by 2025, 1 million a year. So first of all, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to miss that target. And second of all, if you are going to be the EV leader, which Mary absolutely already is, you're going to need to get way past 1 million to catch up with that little company in California. I forget their name.
According to this statement, and we don't know if GM said this, but something doesn't add up. GM aims to build 400,000 EVs from 2022 through the first half of 2024. 400,000. That is in roughly 2.5 years time frame. And then they're going to go from 400,000 in 2.5 years, skip 6 months because you got the second half of 2024. So in 2025, they're going to have 1 million. So they're going to literally jump
quadruple in 25.
in 6 months, because they're only going to have 400,000 total through the first half of 2024, and then they're going to quadruple. They must know something is going to be ready.
Oh, well, maybe that's when Mary plans to retire, because that's been what the legacy guys have been doing, is make big promises that are due just after my scheduled retirement.
Nobody
Next
would ever
guy's
do something
problem.
No, nobody would ever do that.
No, that's not what Bob Lutz did, for sure.
I wish I had some stock I could hype up.
Hey, did you hear that the Tesla Semi has completed its 500-mile journey, weighing in at 81,000 gross pounds?
Yes,
40 tons,
I
40
saw
and a half.
that. So there's a lot of unanswered questions about that, and I think that if it did this, that's great. Even though I'm coming from the Nikola side, I still think it's great. I'm not looking to see anyone fail, but there's missing criteria in here. What was the actual load of the trailer that they had? Because what does the Semi weigh? Because if the Semi weighs 30,000 pounds,
Right.
that means they were limited to 25 tons. And I'll tell you, the Nikola trucks are up there in weight also. But to complete a 500-mile drive means you have a lot of batteries. A lot of batteries are going to mean a lot of weight.
So I can tell you the battery pack size is 1 megawatt. What I can't tell you is the curb weight, because my source does not. I don't believe he knows that, because that's not part of his job. It's not something he deals with. And if he does know, he hasn't told me. But but the curb weight is a big, big question mark.
So do you know what a battery pack for, let's say, a Model S weighs?
I've looked it up before. It's an outrageous amount. It's like a ton.
Because those are 100 kilowatts, so whatever it is, times it by 10.
Except
we're not trying to get,
but you're counting
precise.
the pack weight 10 times, and the Model S also uses the 18650s, which are heavier per watt, I think. But
all right, so
than
they're
the
using 1865.
So the Semi's using 2170s at launch, and the pack is going to weigh an approximate metric F ton, but actually probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 F tons. I don't know. But we'll find out in a few days.
All right, and to me, there's two other. There's more than 2 other numbers, but 2 important numbers are: what is the actual cost when this goes into production? Not what they're probably going to stick to the prices that they have now, so that they can say they sold this for $180,000, because that seems very enticing at $180,000. But what is going to be the real price, and what is their margin? Because I really don't think Tesla needs to be making these at a negative margin.
Definitely not. And I think they're going to go well over 250,000, in part because the new EV incentives have a lot of money for commercial trucks, and they
40 G's, baby.
And the competition is charging north of 250. Some of them 400, 500,000.
Yes.
So they don't need to be at 180. They may have felt that they did 5 years ago when they announced the vehicle. But times have changed. Inflation alone has changed. The incentives have changed. And like you said, there's no reason to go negative on the margin. Make some money. Get the line up to a point where you can just crank them out and go from there.
And I also want to know how long it will take to charge outside of the mega charger network, because the mega charging is going to be very limited to start off with. So from a standard, I guess we can go up to 350.
I don't remember the number now. I'm going to tell you the answer is you're going to have your own chargers at your A and B destinations, because there's not going to be mega chargers out in the public, and they're going to just be dealing with customers who are able to install their own charging capacity in the beginning.
Okay. So these will not charge off the Tesla network at all? The regular
I imagine
supercharger?
they could, but there's so few places where you could even fit one to connect.
Well, I'm not talking. I'm talking about an unloaded trailer.
Right.
No
But-
trailer.
Right, but you can't pull into a stall with that. And if
Yeah.
you back up to a stall, you're going to be blocking 10, and who knows where the charge port is. You might not even be able to reach it.
Maybe it comes with an extension. I have seen pictures of Nikola trays at Electrify America chargers because they'll work there. I'm not bragging by any
I've seen
sense.
pictures a couple of years ago of this charging at a supercharger, and it took 2 handles.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
But that was a prototype. I don't imagine that's a final configuration they will use.
Yeah. So I'm all for this. I want to see how it plays out. But
The market is big enough for everyone right
Yes.
now.
yes.
So, JJ, we're not talking smack. We still love you, brother.
He didn't make it for my live stream today. He might be dead.
I hope not. That would be disappointing because I just mailed him a shirt.
Oh. And he's not in my chat right now either, so.
He's not in my chat yet, or he is, and I don't know because my time travel abilities are limited.
I've got some tips for you after the show's over. Don't want to go
Awesome.
on air about that.
Awesome.
All right. Next up,
Yeah.
we were talking about the Mach-E and its free charging that comes with it, all 250 kilowatts. This video is from my live stream earlier today. We were out by Nikola, and we went ahead and just did a quick little flyover of the Mach-E that I just acquired a few days ago.
Where
And
the heck is it?
you lost
You told
it?
me it was at the 21-minute mark.
Yeah, it is.
21:03, you said?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I must be on the wrong Nikola video because it's okay. Is it? And
What?
I am not seeing
247 flyover, is that your video?
246. All right, let's try 247.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And I'll even rewind so you can catch up.
There it is. 221. Yeah. So apparently, what I hear you saying is that it helps to use the correct one. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, 21 minutes. There we go. Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's nice. And you were talking about colors. That is striking.
Yeah, that is called a cyber orange. I don't know where they get the word cyber from and what the relation is to it, but whatever. So yeah, it's definitely taxi cab yellow, school bus yellow, bright as F, whatever you want to call it. It's that. This is not the dual motor variant. I got the single motor variant because I didn't need it. Didn't need to have the faster one because this is going to be another one of the rental cars for the Toro fleet. So,
And it's already fast. How fast is it? How quick?
I'm not sure exactly, but the other EVs that I have are faster. The Ioniq 5 dual motor faster, Polestar 2 is faster, Model Y is faster than them, and Model S, of course, is the fastest. Until I get my Lucid, Model S is going to be up there at number
Apart
one.
from the Challenger, this is probably the fastest of your non-electric cars.
It
Probably
is
faster than
it is
any
electric.
of your... No, but I mean it's faster than any of your non-electric cars.
Well, the Charger is a Challenger, and that's dead. Remember?
Right. But it was... Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this
the
is... For the
Corvette,
slowest car, this is still really quick.
Yeah, it really is. It might be faster than the Corvette. I mean, the Corvette's obviously louder, so you get a different sense. But I think the Corvette, I did a 0 to 60 test lap in that at 4.4, which would make the Corvette faster than a couple of the EVs. So I just can't say for sure that was accurate because I have a feeling the Corvette was lying to me to make itself look better on the little gauge thing because it didn't feel like 4.4. It felt much slower than a lot of the other cars. But I want to tell you the best feature that I found in the car so far.
Let's hear it.
It's better than any feature in the Hyundai, the Pulstar, or the 2 Teslas that I have. Okay, It kicks ass. It's exactly what I would want. It's the charging schedule. Okay, the car knows where you're at because you've saved your charging location. So it goes, oh, you're at home. You want to save this as a location? I hit the sure as F I do button, and then it goes, well, what kind of charging schedule would you like? Well, this time of year, I have two on-peak times, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. None of the other cars will let me cancel charging for that time. So I put in setup A, do not charge between 5 to 9 a.m. And then charging schedule B, do not charge between 5 and 9 p.m. Well, that's great. You want this only for the weekdays? Yeah, weekdays only. And weekends, how do you want to charge? I want the whole thing. So it let me schedule exactly what I need. It wasn't anything that tricky. It was very easy, and it's easy, simple software to do. None of the other cars have it. If I charge during on-peak times, besides it costing me a few cents more per kilowatt, I also run into on-demand fees that can run into the hundreds of dollars. If I hit 15 kilowatts in the middle of July for a half hour during the entire month, I'm going to get an extra $300 to $400 charge on my electric bill just for that 30 minutes. So it's just one mistake all month. Accidentally, a car starts charging. I get nailed to the wall for it. This car will not let me do that because it has a real charging schedule.
And it sounds like the sort of thing that shouldn't be impossible, but apparently.
It sounds like something that would be incredibly easy if all you knew how to do was a little bit of programming. And these guys know how to program. So I don't get it. I don't understand why something like that can't happen on a Tesla. I mean, that's all they do is sit there, Elon likes his programmers. Okay, this code cannot be that hard to do.
Right. Yeah. By the way, I just saw how many trucks there are at Nikola. Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot, man.
I counted
and
about
the test track is running.
Oh, yeah. And that is a hydrogen truck that you see on that. I know that makes you a little ill.
Oh, I couldn't care less.
Yes. As soon as you get off camera, you start screaming about how hydrogen literally blows up.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, yes.
We're running short on time here. Real quick, we talked about some of this nonsense before. Biden's zero-emission government fleet starts with USPS, 34,000.
And the mandate was that all of them were going to be replaced.
Yeah.
And they are still buying, I don't know, what is it, 100,000 ICE vehicles because they're replacing all the vehicles in the post office fleet because some of them are 30 and 40 years old. So they are going to 100,000 ICE vehicles they're going to buy and 34,000 electric mail trucks.
It says the Postal Service more than 217,000 vehicles.
Yeah, and these vehicles last 30 to 40 years.
Yeah.
Which means they're buying things that are going to be around in 2060.
Yeah. That's...
So I know that Biden said at the beginning of his term something about moving all government vehicles over to electric vehicles. I know something like that was said.
Well, it was started years ago, and then it became a boondoggle. But we talked last week. We talked last week about how we're rolling out $50 million to upgrade chargers. $50 million, great. Those 10 chargers, I'm sure, will work great. Last big story of the week.
Level 2 chargers.
Hyundai and LG mull 2 additional U.S. battery plants with capacity for 1 million EVs. Great. Do it.
They won't. They were supposed to build that battery plant 10 miles down the road from me in my town. LG was, and I looked it up today because I was like, oh, what the F happened with that? And it's like, due to economic situations and costs are rising. We're gonna rethink this and see if this still makes sense, and we'll come back to it later. Well, that was in July, so I don't understand how LG can turn around and still go, yeah, well, we're building a plant over here. We're going to think about building a plant over here, while still saying that they're thinking about building a plant down the road. If the world economics was going down in July, it hasn't gotten any better here in November.
I would say that is 100% true. If anything, it's gotten obviously worse.
Yeah.
But,
so I kind of look at this as, well, it does say that they're going to mull 2 additional U.S. plants, but they might be mulling 50 right now, and they're going to. So where are we on that? I don't know. The Queen Creek plant was announced before the IRA announcement. So that part of the situation's got to actually be better.
Could one of these new plants be in Arizona? Does it say? It could be. I mean, it could be. Dream big, Bear. You need more factories to fly over.
But they've already announced that.
Oh.
They haven't canceled this one here in Arizona.
Oh. They just haven't built it. They just haven't taken any steps beyond a press release.
Right. And that's pretty much, well, I think they bought the land here in Queen Creek.
Yeah. That's not a commitment. You can always sell the land.
Oh, yeah, they can. They can. Well, I think once you put up the sign, though, you're committed.
I think that's the rule.
Yeah.
That's the law.
It's kind of like a handshake deal.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, a ham shake. Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you're getting gross.
Oh, if you've never tried pork-based ice cream products, you are missing nothing. Thanks as always to my patrons and Bear's patrons too, who he likes to point out are even better than mine. I disagree. You know, here's a Patreon question for you guys. Would you be interested in seeing the uncut version where we cover the 30 to 60 minutes of pre-show prep, the show, and then however long we chat afterwards, which is typically another 10 to 30 minutes, just to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah. And all the profanity that is coming out of Brian's mouth is disgusting.
You know what? That would be in there if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of fun. If that's something you guys are interested in, let us know, and we can do that maybe next week or the week after. It'd be kind of interesting.
And also for Brian's Patreons, if he gets $100 worth of donations onto his Patreon account, he will remove his eye patch during next week's show.
Yes, I can put it back on just for that and then remove it. So let's make that a goal. Otherwise, here we are, baby.
Could you imagine if you peeled that off and your eyeball came out with it?
Oh my Lord, it is crusty and uncomfortable, and now that's my new fear. So thank you for that. Thank you for the visual image, Bear. I will probably have a nightmare.
Might I also recommend that if you're going to continue to wear the eye patch, that you get like the little calendar thing on your phone that has the date on it. You get one for each day, and you just swap them out. One, you're going to be wearing a clean eye patch, and two, you'll be doing a public service by letting everybody know what the day is.
That's so helpful.
Today would be 28, and then tomorrow, obviously, 29.
Yeah. Is today the 28th? Because I'm pretty sure for those watching at home, today is the 29th. So I'd need to time travel. We talked about that.
Hey, recorded on the 28th. I was
going to say. I see how it is.
I was going to say, dude, it's my birthday today. I know what day it is.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I actually took off a year this time because I thought it'd be easier.
That's probably a good idea. And you can reuse last year's candles.
Yes. And you better not use that eye patch, the white part, again tomorrow. You need to change that.
Yeah.
It's starting to drip a little.
Ugh. Sucks. Hurts so bad. I hate it.
I made you look.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Not look. All right.
Thanks, Bear. And and thanks, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon.
And thanks to my Patrons. I do love you. I know Brian despises y'all, but thank you for being here. And we will see you next week.